everybody, welcome back to 2T1. And today we are here with Reese Crowder. So take it away, Reese.
So my schooling experience has been um normal to an extent, I would say. I started out at Grace Academy of Dallas, a small private school that only goes through sixth grade. And then after sixth grade, I moved to Dealey Montessori and International Academy for middle school, a public school through DISD, and then now I'm at Ursuline Academy of Dallas um, for high school. Uh, my high school experience has been pretty good, I would say. Freshman year, I came in knowing a few people, and I started doing cross country and met more people through there. I have lost some friends and made some new friends, and it just happens. Um, I've had a good experience, I'd say, and my class wise, I would say pretty good too. I don't really do any honors classes because um I just am not an honors student, so I just don't do any honors classes, but I try to expand like what classes I am taking even though they aren't honors. I've made improvements at the end of middle school. My grades weren't great, but they were like pretty okay. And now I just finished my sophomore year with all A's, so I have been making improvements. I kind of dropped and then I made my way back. I I had to drop a friend this year. It was not a very good relationship, and I realized that that wasn't going to be a relationship that I wanted to keep all high school, and I'd known her for 4 years and I just couldn't do it anymore. So I made the decision that she's not a friend that I needed in my life, and we parted ways. I never told my mom that I'm not friends with her. So we'll see if and when she finds out what that conversation looks like. But I made the decision for my own mental health, and hopefully her mental health is better. Um, I have a friend who had to drop a super toxic friend last year, and kind of the same, like similar um experience with that. But um I have noticed that other like friend groups within the schools don't stay the same all 4 years, and that's okay. It's
Mhm.
natural, it's gonna happen. Um I was told when I came into the school that I would start with friends, but I wasn't going to keep those friends. So I wasn't, and when I heard that, I wasn't fully like convinced. I was like, no, I'm going to keep these friends. Like, they're my friends. Like, I don't want to like part ways with them. But then I realized, oh, maybe I should. So I did, and I'm honestly doing a lot better, and I have better friends than that girl. But um, yeah, I think overall my schooling experience has been pretty good. And I've definitely had some bumps along the way, but I've made my way back, and I'm looking forward to starting junior year, but I'm also super scared. Um, just because a lot of college stuff is going to be coming my way, and I'm not fully prepared for that. So we'll see how that's going to go when I get there. But right now, I'm focusing on the present and focusing on I'm looking forward to the start of the school year and making new friends, getting new teachers, new classes, and just starting from there. So,
Okay, yeah, and then I have a question. So you said that you went to one school to another school to the school you're at now. So what were those transitions like for you?
um, after sixth grade, going into middle school, it was very different because not a ton of schools end at sixth grade. So that was kind of a weird jump going from sixth to seventh, going to a new school where all these people already know each other. Um, I made it work. But it wasn't like I didn't have anybody going with me from elementary school to middle school, so I had to make all these new friends. I had to try to see what classes would be like. It was very different because it was actually like I had to switch classes, and I never really did that in elementary school. Um, but I made it work. And then going into freshman year, I went with three other girls from my middle school, and I was only friends with one of them. I wasn't really friends with the other two, but at least I knew people this time around. And I was thinking it was going to be easier, but I think it was definitely harder because it was a much bigger school, and it's an all girls school too. So that's very super different going from being in school with guys all up until eighth grade, and then it's just all girls. I definitely think it's probably better. But it's really weird too. I'm kind of I like it to a certain extent, but I also don't like it too because
Mhm.
it's just very I feel like there's more drama
Mhm.
with just all girls. Um, but I'd say my transitions from different schools have been pretty okay. Um, yeah, I've made great friends along the way, lost some, but that's just all part of the transition, I guess. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so you mentioned improvements, especially regarding your grades. So since we're going into the new school year, do you have any advice on like tips on how to improve your grades for people watching?
so I I would say definitely need to study. I kind of didn't do that a lot, and it definitely hurt my grades. But also with people using technology all the time, laptops are a huge distraction. So when I'm in class, I just really try to focus on what the teacher is telling me and taking notes so that I know that I can be prepared rather than distracting myself throughout the entire class and then not knowing what I even heard about in the class. Which I will admit I did a couple times this past year, but um I would say definitely try to reduce your distractions and definitely study, but also ask help if you need it. You don't want to be struggling somewhere and then you don't ask help and then you end up not understanding at all, and then it pops up in your exams and your quizzes and you don't understand, and then your parents and teachers come to you and they're like, can we help you? And then you need to have the courage to say yes, I need help, rather than like push them away and not accept the help that they're offering you.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd say.
Yeah.
That's really good advice.
That is. And also just kind of going back to the transition a little bit, what would you say the social groups and like the friend groups were like between those three different schools?
Um, in my elementary school, I don't think there was really a social group because of how small the grade was. It was like 12 girls, I think, so we were all pretty close friends. So I wouldn't say there was any social groups within that school necessarily. Um, moving into middle school, I'd say there definitely was social groups, and I definitely had my own group of people, but I was friends with people that were in other groups, so I had friends outside of just my group. Um, and then now at Ursuline, there is also still very distinct groups, and they're basically the same group that there was in middle school. It's just a lot more people. And I'm definitely not friends with a lot of people there. I have like three or four like super close friends, and then I have like other friends that I'm not super close with, but I still would consider them my friend. Um, but I would say, yeah, the social groups are definitely clicky. But also there's always a ton of drama within the groups.
Yeah.
And if there's drama within, like with me and my friends, we always try to figure out a way to get past that because there's not very many of us in like my friend group. But then you look at a different group of girls and there's like 50 of them. And then you're like, well, how do they solve an issue if there's drama going on? And you're like, well, then it's kind of like a civil war if like one side agrees with something and the other doesn't agree with that. I just, I don't know how social groups work with such like big quantities of people. Um, and I think definitely by senior year, I would really like to see the huge groups separated into smaller ones where they found like they're real people and they're not going through life knowing that these people didn't actually really like them
Yeah.
or didn't like agree with what they were saying like all these years throughout high school. So, yeah.
Okay. Sophia?
So I know that we were talking about cliques, and I don't think that we've touched on this yet, but would you say that the cliques have um, kind of been inclusive at all, or would you say that they're more so closed off? Because like at our school, a lot of the cliques can be very,
Closed off.
exclusive, stuff like that. So how would you describe Ursuline cliques?
Um, I would say that it's very much very closed off. Um, I would say that there are a few people within the big groups who are actually nice by
Mhm.
themselves, but then with people from the other group, like from that group,
Yeah.
they're not nice at all and
Yeah.
they will disclude you. But if it's just you and that person, they're super nice, they're super inclusive, they will hang out with you, but not if they're in that big group. So I would say it's very closed off. Um, yeah, pretty
Yeah.
close.
I agree for sure. At our school, it's like that with um both the girlfriend groups and the guys.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
Very,
very so like that.
very, very exclusive. Um, what I just have one more question, Reese. So what are some just like challenges you've faced that you've overcome and like could you give advice on how to overcome them?
I would say definitely starting a new school with knowing little to nobody. You kind of just have to navigate like who you want to be friends with and who you're willing to be friends with, and will they actually remain one of your friends. Um, Also going into a new school, all these other people know each other already. And if you don't know any of them, you just feel very alone and very distant from everybody. And I think that my advice for that is just to put yourself out there and be yourself and just try to find people that you will be friends with, that they understand who you are and like they're willing to be themselves around you also. Um, I'd say definitely going into Dealey, it was more of a struggle because I didn't know anybody, and all those people had been together from pre-K to eighth grade. And it was definitely very different going in there not knowing any of them. But going into Ursuline, being on the cross country team starting before the school year started, I knew a couple people, so I was able to go in knowing a few people from events and the girls that I was already at school with.
Mhm.
But I'd say that was probably one of the biggest challenges was starting the new school, not knowing really anybody.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah.
Yeah, I think that it's very important, like you said, to kind of stay true to yourself and just be yourself because I think a lot of people, especially with cliques, kind of like change themselves or like alter themselves and their personalities to fit in. And I think that it's just really important to find your people. You know, not every group is right for you. And yeah, I think that was really important.
Yeah. That was great, Reese. Sophia, any more questions or anything?
I have no more
All
questions.
right. Thank you so much, Reese, for doing this. And thank you so much to you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.